If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. I made a video back in January of this year, this is July now, so 6 months ago, where I talked about Campground Stalkers. And that video is the most popular video I've ever made. In 6 months, it's got like 180,000 views, almost 200,000 views. It does not have a lot of negative comments to it. Most of it is very positive, and people are very interested in the idea of this campground stalker. And in the video, I talked about how this fella, it was winter time, so we're down in Mississippi, it's winter time. We're at a national forest, but it's kind of close to the main road. You know, there was probably a car that drove by every 15 minutes or so. And I was talking about how folks are always curious about people who are camping there. What it was cold, so we stayed inside the camper most of the time. Well, one day it got up into 50 degrees and I decided I was going to do some laundry. So I'm out there, I'm doing laundry, plunging some laundry. And this fella just comes rolling in, and I thought, uh-oh, I got a problem. I mean, he was flying in. Of course, I got onto my guard. What's going on here? Now, remember, there's a 2-week stay limit at most of these campgrounds, including this one. And I'd only been there, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 days, whatever it was. And he says, I've been seeing your truck sitting here for nearly a week now, and I was just curious if you had died in that camper. Now, I agree that his intentions may have been perfectly harmless, and he wanted me to be safe and wanted to make sure that I was alive. One point that somebody made in one of the comments was, well, if he was just being polite and wanted to see if we were alive, when he saw me outside the camper, he would have realized, oh, he's alive. So there would have been no reason to come down and scare me like that. I see this everywhere we go. And people will drive by all the time. When we were in Florida, it was hunt season. We left. You have to leave 2 weeks after hunt season, then you can come back. And long story, but anyway, so we left for the 2 weeks and came back to the campground that we were at. And I don't know, 3 or 4 days afterwards, we kept seeing this guy. He'd drive down, stop, turn around. Well, day one, they're very polite, very friendly. Hi, and you wave, they wave. And day 2, you wave, they wave. Day 3, you wave, they kind of like, uh-huh. And by day 4, they're just staring at you. I've got a camper, I've got the camping equipment. You would think it was just a camping experience, but I guess a lot of people in the comments thought maybe that folks think that I'm doing illegal activities inside the camper. I mean, I get that there was a famous TV show that people watched that they went out into the desert in their RV and they did some illegal activities. In Missouri, there was this red truck that would drive down when we were in the conservation area at a designated campground. And there was always campers there, it would be us and somebody else, and then they would leave, and it'd be us and somebody else, and they would leave. So it's not like I was hiding anything. So even if I was trying to do illegal activities, that would have been pretty stupid of me, considering there were so many other campers. But again, this little red truck would come down almost daily. And first day, he waved, I waved. Second day, I waved, he waved. And by day 4 or 5, he's just staring at you. Now, one of the thoughts I've had about this stalking behavior was maybe folks, locals that are near the campground, don't realize there is a 2-week stay limit. But maybe after 4 or 5 days, they would think, well, maybe these people are just starting to take up residence. And the other thing that I noticed is that if you start to stay too long, they will call the rangers. And now you have to deal with law enforcement. Now, law enforcement obviously is going to know that you're allowed to stay there for 2 weeks, and they're just going to come out, check on you, make sure you're okay. This happens no matter where you go, Florida, Mississippi, Missouri. Well, one of the most common things that I have heard on that video that has 160 or 70 or 80,000 views is that might happen out east, but it doesn't happen out west. I've been out west, I don't know, wherever you want to call west, for several weeks now. We've been in New Mexico, we've been in Arizona at a campground, and now we're here at the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. This is I guess, other than Disney, this is the tourist spot of the United States. Everybody comes and camps at the Grand Canyon. But you better not do it for more than 3 or 4 days, because the behavior starts right back up. I really didn't think we would have a problem out here. We're 14 miles away from the main road. There is nobody in between here and the main road. We will get maybe a hiker that comes down every now and then. They'll come down, they'll spend a couple hours, they'll go hiking, and then they get back in their vehicle and go away. Well, I don't know, on like day 2, there was this white pickup truck, and I know it's the same pickup truck. It's got Arizona plates, so it's a local. And he's got this big tank, I guess it's an oil tank or something, in the back of his truck. It has a little pump on it. And so the first day he comes down, and again, you know, I wave, he waves, no big deal. You know, I guess even here in Arizona at the tourist attraction center of the United States, people are accustomed to people camping down here. Of course they are. I mean, there's been other campers here. On July 4th, there was like 6 campers here. I haven't seen many campers since. And well, on day 2, again, he waves, I wave. And then by day 3, I waved, and he just stares at you. It's almost a universal stare. Everywhere we go, I get the same stare. They just glued to you. And you're just waving up a storm, and they don't do anything. So again, in the last video, I said, you know, what you really need to do is stay 1 week. Instead of staying the 2 weeks, you need to stay the 1 week and then move on to the next campground and then come back to this campground. Well, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm just going to let them call the rangers, let the rangers come out, talk to me. I'll tell them when I got here. They can have my driver's license, my license plate number, the whole thing. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not making campfires. I have very little equipment sitting outside the camper. I got my lawn chairs. And this time I'm just going to deal with the rangers, because again, I feel like this is the tourist attraction of the United States besides Disney. So it does happen out west, and it happens at even tourist facilities. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.